Good afternoon or good morning when this goes out. I do appreciate you watching as always. Thank you for your time. Operation Raise the Colours seems to be upsetting the right people on the left and in the liberal media. So obviously that means that efforts need to be doubled and we need to continue at pace throughout the United Kingdom. This isn't specifically isolated to England at this point, it is spilling out into the home nations, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales. This photo was shared by Voice of Wales earlier on today. I don't actually know where this is. I think it's down south in Cardiff, or down south Cardiff's away anyway. So it is spreading out over the United Kingdom. It is getting quite funny when you see images like this pop up as well, because they are intent in certain diverse places like Tower Hamlets and Birmingham to remove the England flag, because apparently flying the flag in England is divisive, which we'll get to later in the video. I've seen this, which I thought was hilarious. Britain start painting St George Cross on illegal immigrants in the hopes the government will actually start removing them, which is quite funny. I'm sure you'll agree. And then we've seen this one here, okay, which I thought was quite funny as well. So yes. The meat of the video is about the next Prime Minister, the next Labour Prime Minister who's elected by the party, the hopeful anyway, Andy Burnham, but we'll get to that later in the video. First of all, I want to bring this to your attention. This is the Manor Farm in Chester Road in Birmingham. Alright, I'll just get to this one now.
Won't let you in because you've got England flags on. Not letting people in because of England flags. Why? Simple rule by management.
Okay, just to put something on the agenda, the brewery that operates this is Green King. Okay, Green King. It's going to be their decision, not specifically management's. And has anyone noticed around the United Kingdom lately there seems to be a lot of security guards of ethnic minorities? I've noticed it up in Cheshire, specifically around supermarkets and whatnot, but all Asian gentlemen, alright? And I first noticed this when I went down to do that queue for the Queen when the late Queen passed away. The natives were being mishandled and managed by non-Indigenous people, shall we say, of a certain ethnic minority. Has anyone else noticed this phenomenon around the country? Because I've noticed it and I want to know what they're planning. But this pub, Manor Farm, Chester Road, Birmingham, a nice diverse part of the United Kingdom, is banning people from going in if you're wearing an England flag or you're carrying a flag of St George.
No, I'm not asking why you're not letting people in with England flags in England. In England. No, I just want to put it online to show that this pub, what is this pub? The Manor and their management are refusing people with England flags. It's not a protest wearing an England flag. Trump. His bird. He's quite pretty as well. So I have to take my England flag off to come into the establishment in England.
So if you're English and you're wearing an England flag, this particular pub has a problem.
Madness, isn't it? Do you not think there's an issue with that? Like, can you not understand why people might be upset by that? What if I had an England flag shirt on? Would that be alright? Irish? If I had an English flag, would that be alright? If I had a Palestinian flag on, would that be alright? Oh, you wouldn't stop that, would you? You can't answer the question because it's difficult for you, isn't it? I can leave, but I just wanted to highlight that this pub will not let anyone in with an English flag, which is absolutely ridiculous, really, in England. Yeah, I'll leave. They've already been, yeah. I'm leaving in my own time, don't worry. It's trespass, I'll leave slowly. But this pub here will not let people in with England flags.
So we'll leave that one there. Manor Farm, Chester Road, Birmingham. Let's make it famous, make the brewery famous, and be sure to not give them your custom in the future. That's the only thing that these people will understand if you boycott, alright? Then we get on to the second video, which I find quite amusing.
Going around to everyone? Sorry, I'm not laughing at you, but you're worried about the English flag in the English country garden. Well, yeah, it's offensive. Our flag can be offensive in England.
Yeah, there's plenty of people in this neighbourhood who would take offence to that just being up right now.
Are you being having a laugh or something? Where do you live? Where do you live?
I'm from England, man, but
There you go. There's your flag.
This one I think is a bit dubious. I can't tell you if it's accurate or not. I've just seen it online. I do think it's quite funny. It feels like it's a setup. Let me know if you think it's genuine in the comments below.
No, seriously. That's offensive. It's not the 1950s anymore, mate. We can't be having the England flag.
Yeah, they're not that I'll call it either, but that's my flag. And this is my country, and this is my garden. I'll put what I like.
So we'll leave that one now. Now I want to bring up another video. This is the final video, I promise. This is NEM race baiter Iman Aiton. She was on GB News recently about this whole Raise the Colours drama that has the lefties up in its his. It's interesting because before I play the video, her rhetoric style's changed. She used to be very, very assertive and aggressive. Now she's very laid back and she's very mellow. I've been watching this race baiter for quite some time. Her rhetoric has changed, and the way that she delivers her rhetoric has changed. The way it's changed happened when Trump was elected in America. Make of that what you will. She's got a problem with the flag of St. George. She's not necessarily got a problem with the Union Jack. Not the Union flag, Union Jack. And we're going to have a look at this. We're going to take the piss out of it a little bit as well. And then we'll get on to how Burnham's blew it.
Who are you?
I'm very proud indeed. The Union Jack is an iconic flag. You know, it represents the continuity of the Crown, the historic achievements of the British people, and the uniting of distinct nations under one banner.
This is what I love about the Union Jack, alright? And this is why I will always say multiculturalism can work. The United Kingdom is the greatest example of how multiculturalism can work. Before you unsubscribe and before you get rid of the video, let me explain. England, Scotland, Wales and Ireland are all broadly similar, and they're broadly the same. You get little variations when you go to Scotland and Northern Ireland and whatnot, but broadly speaking, the cultures are aligned, our values are aligned. We're all Christian countries, whether that's Protestant or Catholic, and we all have a shared sense of time and place within the British Isles, within the broader whole of these islands, alright? None of us are outsiders. When I go to Ireland, even though it's now a separate country to the United Kingdom, I do not feel like an outsider. I feel like they are part of my native people, my native tribe. And it's the same with the Welsh and the Scots and the Northern Irish, which is why I always say I'm British. This is the greatest success of multiculturalism the world has known. There may be a lot of people that identify as English on my videos. More power to you. That's brilliant. I'm from Cheshire. I'm from England. I'm from this United Kingdom. Okay, there's a multifaceted layering on my identity. But we'll get back to the video.
But, you know, let's be clear about one thing. You know, when people wave or don the Union Jack, they're not trying to make an academic point about history. They're expressing pride in their nation, in the homeland their families grew up in.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Well,
you know,
that's the way it should be, and that's the way it was. And, Mike, you know, I respect what you're saying, and I respect the ideal of it. But, Amaran, I am sort of agreeing with you because I am from Northern Ireland, and it is so divisive. And when you live somewhere, it's like having a dog pee against a lamppost and says, you can't come in here. This is our territory, whether you're green or whether you're blue on this one. But so I understand. Mike, what Mike's saying, the ideal of what Mike's saying is absolutely perfect and right. But in practice, Amaran, it can be different.
Yes, I totally agree, and I'm very grateful that you see both of our points. I think that every country in the world should have pride. We all need pride, but we should pick our flags wisely. So let's just be clear. The British flag is the Union flag.
Union Jack, sweetheart. Union Jack.
That's the truth. It represents all countries. It represents the Commonwealth. It represents the British overseas territories. whereas St George's flag does not.
The entire idea behind a national flag is the fact that it is exclusive, not inclusive. That is why we have nation states. That is why the Canadian flag represents Canada. When you go into the provinces, such as British Columbia or Nova Scotia, they have their own flags as well. It's the same within the United Kingdom. There is a layering of identity. Intro to my videos. Cheshire flag, English flag, British flag. There is a layering. There is nothing divisive about flying the English flag in England, and there is nothing divisive about flying the Union Jack anywhere in this United Kingdom. If there's people of ethnic minorities and they're upset, triggered, angry, confused, sad, you can leave. Okay, this is not up for debate. This is not a request. If you do not like our traditions, our culture, our flag, our heritage, there are hundreds of other countries you can live in. You do not have to colonise ours.
It actually excludes. It excludes everyone because it only represents England. It doesn't represent Scots. It doesn't represent the Welsh. And it doesn't represent Northern Ireland. So yes.
Except that when you go into those other constituent parts, they don't really feel like they have the same sort of connotation, do they? I mean, if you go to Wales and you see a Welsh flag flying, it doesn't really have those same sort of connotations as the flag of St George's. And there will be people who are saying, but we need to reclaim them. We need to reclaim them from the that they have been. There's this feeling they've been hijacked by the far right. And if actually we take the sting out of it by flying them everywhere, perhaps that's a good thing.
No, they've not been co-opted. The situation is, and this is what people don't understand, whether you're a far left libtard like, what's his name now, Owen Jones, or whether you are an extreme far right nationalist, the English flag is your flag if you are from England. The United Kingdom flag, the Union Jack, is your flag if you are from the United Kingdom. Okay? The flag doesn't actually dictate who it belongs to. If you are of the United Kingdom, if you are of England, these are your flags. And it's the same in Wales. It's not about... no one can co-opt a flag, alright? It can't be appropriated. You can get institutions that can co-opt flags, like the SNP co-opting the flag of St Andrew for political purposes. A national flag shouldn't be about politics or identity. This is why a lot of people have problems with the Union Jack, because Tony Blair co-opted it in the 90s. No. It existed before Tony Blair, and it will be long in existence after Tony Blair's dust in the wind.
Iman, thank you.
Penny, thank you. I think that's a very valid point. I think that when something has been hijacked by far right or extremists, you should reclaim it and claim it as your own. So I totally agree with that. But we also have to take into consideration the fact that Tower Hamlets is predominantly Asian. It is predominantly Asian, about approximately 44%. It is predominantly Bangladeshi and Muslim.
If they've got a problem with it, there are ways to fix that. Leave. Okay? The flag should be able to be flown anywhere in the United Kingdom. It's as simple as that. If you don't like it, leave. That's a non-negotiable, in my view.
39.9%. So I would argue that the council is merely trying to cater to their constituents. That is
But
the truth.
those constituencies, for all the things you said, which are true, Amaran, but they now live in England. And a lot of people will be saying, when in England be English?
Yes, I totally agree.
So we'll leave that by she totally agrees. If you don't want to adhere to the standards, the norms of our culture, where the door is, don't let that slam you on the arse on the way out. But I wanted to play that clip for two reasons. First of all, the pushback on the leftists is quite mellow in most cases. She's mellowed her rhetoric a great deal because she's losing now. She's on the back foot. The leftists have lost the arguments, they've lost the room, they've completely failed, and we should all be celebrating that. And the other reason we should be celebrating is because We know that Angela Rayner is going to be the next Prime Minister when Keir Starmer resigns because she's deputy, so it will automatically fall to her. We think that Andy Burnham is going to be parachuted into a safe seat because some of the, what I would class as sensible people in the Labour Party, there aren't many of them, but there are a few, they feel that Andy Burnham is their best bet at winning the next election. He's already blown it, hence the thumbnail on the video. He's already blown it. Even if he does become the next Prime Minister when he's parachuted in, he's blown it. And he's blown it with a single statement, which is, the Mayor of Manchester, Andy Burnham, says flags are contentious, specifically and especially the flag of St George. That is Labour's poster boy for the next general election. That is who they think will win in the next general election, Andy Burnham. When Corbyn took over the Labour Party, he had a bit of nous. He went up north and he campaigned to become Mayor of Manchester. Alright? He's just blown any chance of him being elected by the British people. If you think the English flag is divisive in England, then you are no hoper, and you will not win the majority support of the UK. You certainly won't. If you went to Scotland and you said the flag of St Andrew is divisive or contentious, they would laugh you out of the building. The Scots have a great sense of national identity and pride from the flag, which is why you get a lot of sensible Scots, and they get upset when the Scotland flag is defaced with the yes signs, as in vote yes to separate from the UK, because they don't want to separate. I've got a point I want to make to Andy Burnham before I end the video. How is the top unsafe and divisive, but the bottom is inclusive, when at best about 2% of the population is represented by the rainbow flag? So it's not being inclusive, it's actually being exclusive to 2% of the population. That is the entire nature of a flag, to be exclusive to the thing it's representing. That is why you need to double down on the efforts. You need to attend the United Kingdom rally down in London if you've got means to get down there, and fly the flag with pride, not the pride flag, the English and the British flag. Continue doing it, continue to be patriotic, however, don't vandalise. Don't give the leftists a reason to come down on us. Do not play their game. Work smarter, not harder. Now, if you like this video, and you think that the left's rhetoric has softened in certain cases, and that's because they are losing the argument, let me know. Let me know if you're going to be boycotting this pub or the brewery that owns the pub. And let me know if you think Andy Burnham has blown his chances to be elected by the British people as Prime Minister. As always, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video tomorrow. Have a good day and thank you for watching.